Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to my how do you say this TED TED Talk. TED Talk. Yeah, yeah. Or something like that, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing. So today we're gonna be talking about what I excel at the most, and as you can see at the title, it's character creation basically. In in a nutshell, it's basically the name itself. The name speaks for itself. Character creation, creating characters basically, like for a story, for a story like it can be of any genre, mystery, fantasy, which is my favorite, um, contemporary fiction or non-fiction. Uh, char- Character creation is an integral part of making the story. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, let me give you a little background of how got started, of how I started with this thing, character creation. So, let's begin. From my early days in childhood to the present, I have always wanted to write a good story because my dream is to become an author. My dream is to write books because I came to believe that yeah, it's my life it's my life's purpose to create, to tell, because I'm more on the creative side, really. I am more on creativity and making stories and sharing them and stuff. So I knew that if I wanted to become an author, I would need things like ideas, themes, a definitive setting, and to top it all up, a concrete plot within the setting. But most importantly, I needed to have characters to act everything out. We can't just have the setting. We can't just have the setting. We need to have characters to act everything out to make sure that the story is going as we intended it to be. Um, if there are no visible characters, always you can always you can always make yourself the character, so it would be like the like first person storytelling. But in this case, I'm not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about making characters like for a story where y- you're the you're the one who is telling the story, and there will be sets of characters to act everything out. This brought me into the wonderful world of character creation. Ever since I started in this venture, I relished in the pleasures of creating fictional characters, and that is what I want to share today. Um, I just want to share like one of the characters that I have made myself. I worked I worked on this character for like eh, for like the for like the past few months. I worked on this I worked this character in the last few months, and when I finished it, I was more than satisfied. I was more than proud with how it came out. And this is actually the first official character sheet that I made. Most characters, I don't really make a character sheet, but with this one, I made her a character sheet. This character is Rafflesia. This is Rafflesia. We in this character sheet, I put in I put in details about her, biological data, like her gender, her age, her date of birth. It's not very specific here, but but it's a fictional world. Is it she's in a fictional world. Her story is set in a fictional world, so time is measured differently. And here below her personality traits and some additional facts about her. And of course, the most important part, this is what defines your character, their story. The story defines who your character is and what your character is going to become. And I believe that stories are an integral part in character creation, because without stories, characters are nothing. Without stories, your characters are without a story to without a story to tell, there's no use for a character to even exist at all. And so you're asking me, how did I do this? How did I create these characters as well as many others? So I have these steps. I have these steps to character creation. Step one, think of a story. It can be a backstory for your character, which is what I use most often. I think of a backstory first for the character that I'm going to create. Uh, for for the story, it has to at least be understandable, and you have to have like some and you have to have like what is this called? Ah, the story of your character. In the story of your character should be i- i- worth the audience's attention. Should be worth the reader's emotional investment and sympathy, most especially if your character is a protagonist. And once you've thought of a story, you can now build the character. You can now think about what they're gonna look like, what they're gonna be, no, what they're gonna be like personally, like their personality traits, like, or make some additional facts about them. Was because now you have the story. Now you have the story. Now you can think about what the character is going to be overall. Third step. My third step is decide the path that the characters will take. Now, most often with most of my characters, I often just leave them in stage 2, but in some cases I often go with stage 3, with step 3. This basically means continuing their story, deciding the path that they will take, and the choices they make the choices they make will shape who they will be. It will shape who they will become at, at the end of the story. You will see the development. You will see the development of the character, most especially when the story progresses, and most especially when the story is done. You will see the final product of what the character has become when the conflict has been resolved, when the bad guy has been defeated. You will see how much the character has grown. And of course, the most important step, be creative. I always take this I always take this every time I create a character. So I always take this into heart. Creativity is key to creating a character. You you can make any character you want. Just let your imagination run wild. Go nuts. You can go nuts with your character, but you have to keep in mind that their story should at least be understandable if you want to keep your audience interested in the story of your character. You can go creative with your characters, but you have but you have to learn when to set a bar, and that's for the story. That one is for the story of the character. And also, I'm not gonna judge if your character is like way too overpowered or way too weak. It's your character. It's all right. But just keep that in mind. So why is this important? I think of this as a very important specialty. This is a very important specialty for me. I take this as important because I believe that this is one of the things that bring out our inner storyteller. Each character one creates is a fraction of their personality. Um, I I do believe in that idea that every character someone creates is a fraction of their first personality. They give part of their personality to their character. Each character is also a hint of humanity and his diverse mind and being. Characters are diverse. They can range from the greatest evil to the greatest good. They can be neutral, aligned, aligned to no one. Each character can have their different motives. They think differently. They think differently, and that's what makes character creation amazing. You can create characters that have very unique mindsets, very diverse mindsets and personalities. And with each character you present to the world, they see not the character itself. This is what I believe. Each character you present to the world, you, they don't just look at the character itself. They see its creator and a little bit of themselves. This is what I've been telling everyone. This is what I've been telling you, the viewers, right now. You have to think about this when making your character when making the story for your character. Your audience has to see a little bit of themselves in your character, because how are they gonna keep their interest in your character's story if they don't see a bit of themselves in it? They won't learn to sympathize and relate to that character. I once only saw this as only recreation. I do this for fun before. I did this for fun before, but the longer I did this, the more I thought of it as something much more. And I hope that this will be the case for the viewers, whether they will take this specialty or not. You I do believe that anyone can be a character creator, a storyteller if they put their heart to it. You just need a story and tell it. And if it's not that good, don't worry. Just 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 work on the way you tell your story. If it's not good, then tell it in a way that is good. The way that it's good. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter really, because it's a story, and you can work on it as you go through this journey. You you will be creating more characters if you will be taking this specialty. And I'm gonna tell you now, you you will be evolving with your characters. With every character you create, you will be evolving in your mindset as well, because that is what happened to me. And we all learn this at a different pace. And I'm sharing this idea because I because for this reason, this is why I believe my idea is worth spreading. Let's bring out our inner storyteller, everybody. Let's bring out our inner creativity. We all have stories to tell. We all have stories to tell. It may not be a good one, But the only thing that matters is that you have to tell it. Everyone has their story. All they have to do is to tell it. Thank you very much for listening to my speech.